be agreed to. And I call the member for Fremantle and Assistant Minister for Energy and Climate Change.
Hear, hear. Good choice.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker, and I'm glad, grateful and humbled to be able to continue my work as the member for Fremantle in this place and to continue my work as a member of the Albanese Government that is resolute in its focus on working with the broader Australian community to make Australia a fairer and more sustainable nation. I do that by bringing my Fremantle values to that work. Those are things that my community has been part of working towards for a long period of time, and my community has a commitment to the things that we share. They are the most important things. That includes fair and working conditions, it includes the social safety net, it includes proper protection for our environment, it includes public goods like health and education and community infrastructure, all of the things that we share and that we have a responsibility to protect, maintain and advance together. And the Albanese Government has wasted no time in picking up that work again with the strong endorsement of the Australian people. From the very first sittings of this Parliament, we acted quickly to reduce the debt owed by people who have studied at university or at TAFE through HECS by 20%. We moved very quickly to legislate penalty rates so that working people are properly compensated when they're asked to work at times that we otherwise get to spend with our families or we get to spend in our community. We moved quickly to reduce the maximum price of medicines on the PBS. The PBS, the Pharmaceutical Benefit Scheme, one of the great Labor reforms, one of the great foundational building blocks of our shared well-being. We have moved to bring the maximum price of medicines on the PBS back to $25, a level that was last experienced in 2004. Deputy Speaker, we've done those things because of our enduring commitment to positive change, because of our enduring commitment to social equality and social inclusion, the work of anti-discrimination, the work of environmental protection. Minister Murray Watt, the Minister for the Environment, has started his work on ensuring that we deliver an effective national environmental protection framework, something that the independent reviewer made clear to the previous government years ago, made it clear that that National Environmental Protection Framework, the EPBC Act, was not fit for purpose, was not doing its job, was unfortunately really managing a steady trajectory of decline. We don't accept that. We are going to do what the previous government didn't have the resolve or courage or the responsibility to do. We're going to implement those reforms. We're going to continue the work that we began the Albanese Government in focusing on with respect to climate change and energy. Of course, Australians know and support the fact that when they elected the Albanese Government in 2022, they closed the door on 9 years of neglect. They closed the door on 9 years of inaction and internal conflict that failed to produce a national energy policy that saw a reduction of 1 gigawatt of energy generation in the system as a whole, that saw a completely an abject failure when it came to emissions reduction. We have already seen an increase of more than 40% in Australia's renewable energy. We've crossed the 45% mark in terms of renewable energy in our grid. We have increased Australia's commitment to reduce emissions by more than 60%. We're on track to achieve that. We're on track to deliver 82% of renewables by 2030. We are making a really significant investment in Australia's future manufacturing potential because, Deputy Speaker, in addition to our opportunity to become a renewable energy superpower. We have the opportunity to be a clean industry powerhouse. And if you ever are fortunate to be in any other part of the region, whether that's Japan or Korea or Indonesia or Singapore, they marvel at the incredible potential that Australia has to benefit from renewable energy and clean energy technology, and then to parlay that into 21st century industrial strength that is based around green metals, green hydrogen, low carbon liquid fuels, and so on. And we are going to make sure that we help secure that for future Australian generations. Minister Bowen is leading that work through the safeguards mechanism, the capacity investment scheme, and Rewiring Australia, and Australia's first electric vehicle strategy at a national level, Australia's first national energy performance strategy, and the programs that support that. We know that there is an issue when it comes to housing. Housing is a human right. Housing is the basis of a sort of a safe and secure life from which people can pursue education, can pursue work, involvement in their community, and for too long, affordable, safe and accessible housing has become harder and harder for young Australians and Australians facing disadvantage, and we're not going to tolerate that. We're making the biggest investment in affordable housing since the post-World War II housing boom, $42 billion worth of programs. I've been fortunate to make a couple of announcements in my electorate since the election through the Social Housing Accelerator, where we're partnering with states and territories to get new affordable and community housing into the system as soon as we can. I was fortunate to be at the launch of a community battery in Coogee that I promised with the Prime Minister some time ago. We had a bit of a disagreement about the pronunciation of Coogee versus Coogee, but,
Is it near Coburn?
It is near Coburn, member for Bruce. It is near Coburn, and we delivered that battery. It's one of 5 new community batteries in WA, adding to the 13 that are already there. It's obviously one of 400 that we're delivering nationwide through the $200 million community battery program. We've made such great strides when it comes to the delivery of renewable energy, Deputy Speaker. As I said, we've already increased it by more than 45% just in the 3 and a little bit years since this government was elected. But we need storage to match, and we are leaving no stone unturned when it comes to increasing the ability for Australian households and Australian businesses and our system as a whole to soak up that abundant and at times of the day virtually free solar energy, and then reuse it at peak times to bring system costs down to reduce prices for households. But Deputy Speaker, just as I conclude this speech, I just want to pay respect to the tens of thousands of Australians Australia-wide who got out on the weekend and showed support for people who have been suffering in Gaza, showed support for peace, showed their commitment to non-violence as we witness the humanitarian catastrophe that has been occurring in the Middle East. I'm glad to be part of a government that from the beginning rejected the violence that began on October the 7th and that barbaric attack, but has also rejected the unnecessary conduct that has resulted in the death of more than 60,000 civilians in Gaza, most of whom are women and children, and the unnecessary, unconscionable, intolerable, unacceptable suffering that's occurred through the deprivation of humanitarian aid from earlier this year. The Australian government will do in relation to that conflict what we've done in the past. It's true to our values, it's true to our national character. We've done the same thing in relation to the violence and dispossession experienced by the Rohingya in Myanmar, in relation to the illegal and immoral invasion of Ukraine, and that is to say that that violence, is a terrible form of human conduct. It should be resisted as much as we can possibly resist it. we are a nation that is defined by our commitment to peace, compassionate to one another, compassion for one another, and our compassion for our sisters and brothers all over the world. And I'm grateful that people in my community, as well as right around Australia, take their democratic opportunity to express their commitment to peace and non-violence and their desire to see peace, justice and self-determination for the Palestinian people. And that's something that we want to advance on a concerted fashion with like-minded countries like France and Canada and the UK by recognising a state of Palestine at the UN General Assembly in September. All of our work that the Prime Minister has led and the Foreign Minister has undertaken is devoted to trying to see peace in the Middle East as soon as possible and an end to that terrible conflict.